do have Derek Carr. I think for starters, game is on. Game's on for this. You got to win the division. No excuses. I don't want to hear any talk about injuries or whatever. Derek Carr's your quarterback. Assuming he stays healthy, the Saints have to win the NFC South. And you go from there, right? There's other factors into all this that we will discuss, and time will tell how the roster looks, whether or not I think they're worth, or I say better than most teams in the NFC. Right now, they're not. Right now, the ceiling is win the South, and who knows from there. But that's better than where they were yesterday. And I think for anyone who would have rather seen them go run it back with Andy Dalton, I think that's a little crazy. I think that you absolutely take Derek Carr over Dalton. As for people who are probably upset that this spells the end of the Jameis tenure, I feel bad for Jameis Winston. I am going to root for him wherever he goes. I wish him well. I think there's some teams where he could be a nice bridge option for them, but it just wasn't working here. And more importantly, the relationship between coach and quarterback, and you could blame whoever you want on that. And I'm sure DA will get a lot of blame, and he probably should for the way the injury was handled. It wasn't going to happen. So you bring in who they think is their guy, and you hope it works. And I do think that with Derek Carr, there are a lot of qualities that make him a pretty good fit for the Saints. For starters, really good leadership skills. That's something that the Saints are going to value. Another thing about him that I think is very underrated, he pushes the ball downfield. That's why I don't want to hear any of this Jimmy Garoppolo nonsense. Jimmy Garoppolo, the one thing he doesn't do is push the ball downfield. The one thing the Saints receivers in Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave do really well, they get down the field. So imagine having a quarterback who couldn't utilize that part of their skill set. That would be downright atrocious. I think Derek Carr will be able to do that. And I think Derek Carr also, in terms of Pete Carmichael's scheme, I think he's going to control the line of scrimmage well. I think he's going to take some of the short passes that are there. And I think that, look, Derek Carr's not perfect. I think Derek Carr at his best is maybe the 12th best quarterback in the league. And I'm talking about 2021. I'm not talking about what we just saw. But I do think